This is an upgraded Racingline Turbo Inlet pipe, and this is a stock turbo inlet pipe. We're going to show you how to install the upgraded one and test it on our dyno using our MK8 GTI. Now you're probably wondering if this pipe is going to do anything for you if you bought one. From us, of course. The thing to remember about all cars is that they were engineered to be street cars for the average person. Maximizing airflow coming into your engine could come with compromises like low-end drivability. This might mean that the factory one, like this one right here, is restricted.
Took the restrictor plate off, give the Red Dragon a little more juice.
The manufacturer might make the turbo inlet smaller for somebody who's not as familiar with driving turbo cars to make it not feel like they're driving a turbo car even though they bought a car with a turbo. Also, there's a guy named Jeff who does extensive part testing. He has a site dedicated to specifically that on Mark 7s. He's tested turbo inlet pipes and found very significant increases in flow on aftermarket turbo inlet pipes over the stock turbo inlet pipe. At minimum, my expectations of this turbo inlet pipe is to see mid to high range benefits to the turbo performance. Now, the guys at Racingline gave us 2 of these to give away. So we will be giving away 2 of these. Leave a comment below. Wednesday the 14th we'll be giving it away. It's chosen at random. So you enter, comment in the YouTube video, that's how you win. Before we install this, we're gonna give you some sound clips so you can tell before and after installing this to see the sound difference. So the comparison on sound there, on camera you're probably not going to hear much of a difference there, if any at all. In car you notice a slight difference under acceleration when the boost is kicking in, but it's very small. I think this actually has smoother kind of acceleration, and kind of as the turbo rolls in, it doesn't quite hit quite as hard, and it kind of the smoother transition in. That could be just because the airflow coming in isn't kind of choked off and then comes all at one time. It's possible it's airflow related. It's possible that I'm not an engineer and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And that's why we're gonna take this car to the dyno, show you before and after this turbo inlet to see if this mod actually makes power for your car. So we have a baseline, even though we had numbers before, because of conditions vary, we wanna have a stock run, so we're doing that right now. All right, so we did 3 runs just now. The reason why we did it is because the first one was way higher than before. We reset everything, we erased the fault, so it resets the adaptation of the ECU. We think that might be why the numbers were so high. So we did 2 more runs and they came down a little bit more and more. Now, it could be because of heat soak, could be because the ECU is readapting to everything. We think it's because of the readaptation process. So 3 runs, we're kind of back to roughly where we started before. Now we're going to install the turbo inlet and dyno again. Turbo inlet installed, 287 horsepower, 332 pound-foot of torque. Those are our last 2 numbers. Let's see if we can do better. All right, pretty good results. 10 pound-foot of torque and about 5 horsepower. So to me, I call it a win. No brainer, do it. Now that we've shown you all that, let's show you how to install it. We're gonna start by removing our intake. To do that, we're gonna first remove this spring clamp. That just has the spring clamp pliers go on like so, and we can squeeze it and slide it off. These can be a pain, so if you want a set of spring clamp pliers, you can check them out on our site, which will be linked in the description. Next thing we're gonna do is take off this secondary air coupling. We squeeze right here and kind of wiggle it off like so. Now we're gonna take off this hose right here. This is a small nipple. You can just kind of pop it off like so. We're gonna pull this hose back and then we're going to pop this up. So we have a grommet back here and a grommet over here. And all we're gonna do is pull up on the back of this like so. And you can see this last grommet is kind of on there. So you just gotta pull up and get it off like so. Now it's in this duct here. So we're just gonna rotate it up and then slide it just out like that. Now we're gonna remove the Torx bolt for the turbo inlet. Now that's a Torx bolt that's located right back here. And to loosen it, we're just gonna spin it off like so. Make sure you don't drop it. There it is. It's kind of captive. There's a little rubber O-ring on it. Because that screw just holds it down, it rotates clockwise. We should be able to just rotate it back like so. Now the question is, can we get it off with this hose on? And the answer to that is, we sure can. Here's a turbo inlet, it's gonna go in here. There is a little bit of oil inside of here that's normal. I'm gonna take that oil and rub it around this seal here to make sure it's lubricated so it doesn't get bound up going in. Never go in dry. Now we're ready to go in, and we have to make sure this bolt hole is aligned above the area where it goes in. So you gotta rotate it backwards like this. So we're gonna swing that in like so, and make sure we're clocked in the right direction. And I found it kind of has a ledge you sit it down on, and then you can pop it in and then turn it and rotate it in. And you should be able to just pull on it and make sure that it doesn't come out. I'm gonna put this screw back in, and just so you know, you can go in from the back side here. It seems to be the easiest way. If you drop it, you're gonna regret it. So don't drop it, and make sure you have a magnet on hand if possible. This is actually a really easy install, unless you drop that screw and lose it. Then you're gonna really hate your life. And there we go, that's it. We're ready to install our hose. Now, you wanna make sure the orientation of your clamps are on there are accessible and able to be tightened. I'm gonna do it like so. How you know how it goes is they do a good job, Racingline logo facing towards your intake, and you just slide it on like so. I went in dry that time. I told you not to go in dry, and I just did it anyway. We're installing an air box back, and hook it underneath this guy first. Get it in place. That hose is gonna be in your way a little bit. Rotate it up, and sit back down your nubs, like that. Slide it on. Get your rotation right. And if you've done this right, you should have a clamp that's facing upwards here and a clamp that you can access back here. This is a 7mm Allen or a flathead screwdriver if you'd like to just take forever to tighten these. Now we're just gonna pop this hose back on like so, and then we're gonna clip this secondary air pipe on like this. We're done. And it's that easy. That's it. If you want to be entered in the giveaway, make sure you comment below. And if you need one of these and you don't win it, buy it from us. Shop.dap.com. Buy all your stuff from us. Everything. Toilet paper.